Loki and the Dwarves. Loki came up with a plan to replace Sif's hair. He left Asgard. He went down the Rainbow Bridge to Earth. Then he went down below Earth to Nidavellir, the realm of the Dwarves. The Dwarves were short creatures who lived deep underground. They were grouchy, surly, and unpleasant. However, they were master craftsmen. They could make just about anything. Loki was a smooth talker. He knew how to flatter the dwarves. He went to their workshop and watched them work. "What fine work you do," Loki said. "Why, I've never seen better craftsmen. How do you do it?" The dwarves smiled. Who does not like to be praised? Loki flattered the dwarves. Loki went on with his flattery. "You must be the best blacksmiths in the world," he said. "Your work is amazing, but there's only so much blacksmiths can do. I have a task that I fear is too hard even for you." The dwarves stopped banging on their anvils and looked up. "Too hard for us," said one of them. "I think not. There is nothing that we cannot make." "Could you make golden hair as beautiful and fine as Sif's hair?" "We can make it," shouted the dwarves. Make it they did. They grabbed a bar of gold and heated it in their forge. Then they began banging away at it with their hammers. They stretched the bar into tubes. Then they stretched the tubes into threads. They beat on the golden threads with tiny hammers until they were as fine as real hair. The dwarves beat on the golden threads with tiny hammers. The dwarves worked day and night for a week. When the hair was finished, it was a wonder to behold. It glittered and shone like gold, but it was soft to the touch like real hair. Loki had what he needed. He could have gone straight back to Asgard, but he was very clever. He knew he had angered Odin and Thor. He decided to trick the dwarves into making presents for them. "This hair is amazing," he said. "You are truly masters of your trade. But surely there are some things that even you cannot make." "There is nothing we cannot make," said the dwarves. "Could you make a spear so fine it never misses its target?" "We can make it," shouted the sooty, squinty-eyed little men. "This hair is amazing. Could you make a spear that never misses its target?" asked Loki. Make it they did. A week later, the dwarves handed Loki a silver spear. Loki tested it and found that it never missed its target. "Astonishing," said Loki. "You are not tradesmen, really, you are artists. But surely there are some things that even the finest artist cannot create." "There is nothing we cannot make," said the dwarves. "Could you make a boat that can sail in the air as well as on the sea? A boat that can be folded up and carried in a pocket?" Loki asked. "We can make it," cried the confident little blacksmiths. Make it they did. A week later, Loki left Nidavellir with the golden hair, the silver spear, and the magical boat. Loki was astonished by the silver spear that the dwarves made. Loki went up from the underground world of the dwarves. He passed Earth and made his way up the Rainbow Bridge. Heimdall, the guardian, saw him and let him pass. Odin called a meeting of the gods. Loki placed the golden hair on Sif's head. It was beautiful. Sif was delighted. Next, Loki gave Odin the silver spear. Odin was pleased with his present. He convinced himself that Loki was not so bad after all. Next, Loki gave Thor the magical boat. Thor had never liked Loki. Many times he had longed to pound him to pieces, but even he had to admit that the magic boat was a splendid gift. So Loki made peace with the gods, and all was well in Asgard, at least for the moment. Sif, Odin, and Thor were all pleased with the gifts Loki gave them.